First lesson, and the lesson name is Communication Skills. Children, why should we learn about communication skills? Because good communication skills are the key to success. In this session, we should understand what is communication and different types of communication, and what are all the facts that plays an important role in communication. Now, let us understand what is communication. Communication is an art of transmitting information, ideas, and attitude from one person to another. Communication is the process of meaningful interaction among human beings. The best idea or suggestions or plans cannot take form without communication. For example, you are going to do an event, but you cannot do it alone. To make the event a successful one, you need the help of your friends or parents. What you will do then? So, you will communicate with them to share your ideas, plans about the event. Then they will understand it and make it a successful one. So, how can you communicate with other people? There are many types of communications. Verbal communication, non-verbal communication, written communication, and visual communication. Let us understand different types of communication. Verbal. Verbal communication takes place face to face and in telephone. How can you communicate through telephone? You can communicate in telephone with other person by using voice. So in verbal communication, you can use your voice to communicate with other person. Whereas non-verbal communication, it uses body language, gestures. It includes handshaking, waving, etc. Written communication. Sometimes we get the information through books, magazines, and also through email. So those kind of communications are written communication. Fourth one, visualization. While presenting some informations, people can use graphs, charts, and also maps to present their idea in an attractive way. So those kind of communications are visual communication or visualization. You should understand how you have to communicate information to another person while using different types of communications. In verbal communication, you have to use a strong, confident speaking voice. Children understand when you have to convey some information, you should be confident and you should be strong in that. Your voice can tell them how confident you are in your work. Use active listening. We should be a good listener in any conversation. When we listen them properly, then only we can talk confidently. Avoid filler words. Be on point. Don't use a lot of filler words. Whereas in non-verbal communication, here people can notice how your emotions feel physically. Be intentional about your non-verbal communication. Mimic non-verbal communications you find effective. That means imagine that you are in a place where you have to be silent, but you have to convey some information to other people without talking. So in that case, use effective actions that other person can able to understand what you are going to convey. Visual communication. Ask others before including visuals. Consider your audience. Only use visuals if they add value. Make them clear and easy to understand. That means you should concentrate on what kind of images, graphs or videos you are showing to people. Can they understand? Is it necessary to your presentation? And also you should consider the age group. Next one, written communication. How to communicate through written communication? Strive for simplicity. Use simple words that other people can understand it easily. Don't rely on tone. Take time to review your written communications. Keep a file of writing you find effective or enjoyable. You have to check twice before sending a mail. The important thing in written communication is the people who is reading your letter or email should understand what you are going to convey. Use effective words. Before starting the matter, type hi, hello, and in the end, you can use thank you, have a great day, like that. All types of communication have some advantages and disadvantages. Advantages of verbal communication. While you are communicating through your voice, you can understand and the clarity will be there and transparency will be there. And you can also get immediate feedback. It helps for better relationships, time saving, effective tool for motivation, effective tool for group communication, economical, and it allows to measure effectiveness immediately. When you are face to face and you are talking through your voice, you can get immediate feedback. It's the only way out during an emergency. It also has some disadvantages. Lack of retention or documentation. Distortion in passing the message. Distortion means misrepresentation or biased answers. And there will be no legal validity. Sometimes it leads to possibility of misunderstanding. Unsuitable for long messages. It is constrained by physical barriers. Not effective when the target group is spread out. Suppose you want to convey the information to the whole group, but all the group members are not in the same place. Then the verbal communication is not that effective. Advantages of non-verbal communication. You can communicate with someone who is hard of hearing. Some people have difficulties in hearing, so you can convey information through actions. You can communicate at place where you are supposed to maintain silence. You can communicate something which you don't want others to hear or listen to. That means to maintain secrecy. You can communicate if you are far away from a person, the person can see but not hear you. Nonverbal communication makes conversation short and brief. Nonverbal communication also have some disadvantages. We cannot have long conversations. Difficult to discuss the particulars of the message sometimes. Difficult to understand and requires a lot of repetitions. Cannot be used as a public tool for communication. That means it is not a professional way of communication. Less influential and cannot be used everywhere. Not everybody prefers to communicate through nonverbal communications. It cannot create an impression upon people or listeners. Third one, written communication. Advantages of written communications are: it creates a permanent record, allows you to store information for future reference also, and it can be easily copied and distributed to many people. All recipients receive the same information. Written communication helps in laying down apparent principles, policies, and rules for running of an organization. It is a permanent means of communication, thus, it is useful where record maintenance is required. Well, written communication also have some disadvantages. Let's look into it. Lack of secrecy. Time consuming and expensive sometimes. Meaningless to illiterate. When a person is not able to read and write, then the written communication is meaningless. And the delayed feedback. You have to wait for a long time to get the feedback from the receiver. Fourth one, visual communication. This kind of communication also have some advantages and disadvantages. The pictures, graphs you have used in your presentation can show trend and comparisons. Disadvantages. Some people may not understand pictorial form of representation. And it takes lot of time to prepare graphs and images. We are going to understand the elements of communication cycle. Which are the different elements of communication cycle? Just think, while you communicate information, which are all the things takes part in it? Sender, message, receiver, and the feedback. In between, encoding, decoding, and noise. These are all the elements of communication cycle. First one, sender. Who is a sender? Sender is the person or entity who sends the message. He is the first person or entity who wishes to convey some information. What is message? The information that a sender wants to convey. Encoding. The sender chooses to bring a message into a form appropriate for sending. The purpose of encoding is to make the receiver understand the message that the sender wants to convey. What is a channel in communication cycle? By means which the message is sent. It may be a phone call or the email, or you can talk face to face or by using gestures. So that is the channel. Who is the receiver? The person or entity to whom the message sent. That means who will receive the message from the sender? He is a receiver. Decoding. How the receiver interprets and understands the message. Decoding means the process of understanding the message that the sender has sent. And the last one, feedback. This is the important thing in communication cycle. Because when you convey some information, if you won't get the feedback from the person who receives it, then the communication process is incomplete. So, these are all the elements of communication cycle. Do you know the characteristics of effective communication? We can also call this as 7 C's of communication. First C is clear. The message should be clear and easily understandable to the recipient. Do not use difficult words that the receiver cannot able to understand. Correct. The message should be accurate and without any grammatical errors. You have to check before you sending or think before you talk. Complete. It must include all the relevant information. When you don't give the complete information, that leads to the confusion. Concrete. All the facts and figures should be clearly mentioned in the message. So what are all the facts should be included in that communication? Include all those things. Concise. Avoid the lengthy sentences and try to convey the subject matter in the least possible words. Your words or sentences should be to the point. Don't drag the message. When you drag too much, the receiver may not like to hear or read. Consideration. The sender must take into consideration the receiver's opinion. When we send information, we should wait for the feedback. Cautious. The message should not be biased and must show respect for the recipient. While communicating, do not use a rash gesture. Do not use blaming words. The words you will use in the conversation should be gentle. It should be respectful. So, these are all the characteristics of effective communication. You might be thinking communication is the everyday process. Why the whole lesson is about communication skills? It not only matters how you send the message, but also the way of communicating, gestures. Before starting the conversation and after ending the conversation, you can do handshaking. And eye contact should be there in communication. As I have already told you, good communication skills are the key to success. Either it may be professional or non-professional, but the communication should be in a good way. Perspectives in communication. Do you know the meaning of perspective? In Kannada, we can call it as Drishtikona. Each and every human being in this world have different perspectives, different opinions. For example, you can give the same topic to 2 or 3 persons. All the persons will think differently, and how they react to the topic is also different. So let us understand what is the meaning of perspectives in communication. Let's try to understand the different levels of perception of a situation, or it may be any issue. Be open, flexible, and transparent. A communication perspective focuses on the way in which our shared meanings and practices are constituted through language and symbol. The construction of messages and their dissemination through media, organizations, and society. Our communication will become successful or not, it also depends on the language and also the place where we are. So, the different perspectives matters a lot in communication. There are different types of perspectives in communication. First one, visual perception. Visual means by seeing. If you understand something through images, charts, that is known as visual perception. Visual perception is the ability to see and interpret. Interpret means analyze and give meaning to the visual information that surrounds us. What you can see in this image, just observe the image. We can see the same image in two different types. One is I can see the girl, but if you zoom the image, you can able to see two horses and some birds are flying. So this is known as visual perception. Second one, language. The same words can have very different meanings depending on how we interpret them, isn't it? Language. The different perspectives we experience can be with language as well. Few words used in one language may have totally different meaning in another language. Also, the regional dialect may affect the understanding at times. The meaning of dialect means pronunciation. So, understanding is also depends on communication language and also pronunciation. Third one, past experiences. What influences you to do anything? Your past experience, right? You would bring outside information because you have learned in the past that comparing situations can be helpful in decision making. You bring examples of your own experiences because you have learned in the past that examples can be powerful ways to make better decisions. So, comparing and analyzing helps a lot. But sometimes we won't be having any past experience of that topic. At that situation, we are clean slates information wise. Fourth one, prejudices. Prejudices occurs when we take an isolated experience with one type of person and then act as if all encounters in the future with people of same type or with the same characteristics will result in the same experience. Imagine that you had a bad experience with a person who doesn't have much patience. In future, if you see such kind of a character or such kind of a person, you remember that past experience and you feel that, oh, maybe I experienced the same thing with this person also. So that thing is known as prejudices. Fifth one, feelings. There are actually two ways in which your feelings can influence your communication with other person. The first simply refers to the way that you feel on a given day. If you feel well, you will communicate in one way. If you feel ill, you will communicate in another way. The second aspect related to the feelings refers to how you feel about a specific person. Sixth one, environment. The last area of influence on communication is your environment. All of us communicate differently in different environments. For example, do you speak to your teachers the same way that you do to your friends? Do you talk to strangers with more or less formality than people you know well? These things also matters. So, those are all the perspectives of communication. Now, let us understand factors affecting communication at workplace. Just imagine that you are working in any organization. 8 factors influencing the workplace communications are cultural diversity. When people from different cultural backgrounds communicate, the chance of misunderstanding and wrong interpretation of the message is higher. Misunderstanding of message. You might have told the same thing in different way, but the person who is in front of you might have understood in another way. Emotional difference. Emotion and feelings of the parties involved in communication significantly affect the meaning of communication. For example, physicians are usually less emotional to the patient they are treating than relatives of the patients. Past experience. As I have already told you, if we have experienced something, we always relate those matters in future also. Educational and intellectual difference. The differences in the informal educational and intellectual level of the sender and receiver also influences the meaning of communication. If two persons are communicating, if the level of qualifications are different, then their knowledge about the topic will also be different. If they have similar educational qualifications, communication will be effective because they are likely to hold similar perceptions, understanding, feeling, thinking, view, etc. Group affiliations. Positional differences among the personnel. If the sender and receiver hold different positions in the hierarchy, communication between them may fail. For example, superiors usually pay less attention to any message from their subordinates. Subordinates try to avoid any instructions from the superiors to avoid the workload and responsibilities. Functional relationship between sender and receiver. The functional relationship between sender and receiver significantly affects the meaning of communication in business. If the sender and receiver belong to different functional departments or areas, in that case, the receiver may not understand the sender's message. For example, the finance manager may not clearly understand the message of the product design manager, whereas quality control manager may not understand the message of accountants. So likewise, there are many factors affecting communication in workplace. Let's look into some basic writing skills. How forming sentences in verbal communication plays an important role. Likewise, writing is a form of communication that allows students to put their feelings and ideas on paper, to organize their knowledge and beliefs into convincing arguments, and to convey meaning through well-constructed text. Written expression can be as vivid as a work of art. When we see the art, we can understand that what an artist wants to convey. As we know, the art is of many forms. Likewise, writing also as vivid as a work of art. That means you can make your writing more attractive. You can grab the attention of the reader by making beautiful sentences. There are 4 different types of sentences: declarative sentence, interrogative sentence, exclamatory sentence, imperative sentence. Declarative sentences means it tells something. For example, he is a good boy. She is a cool girl. Here, what we are doing? We are declaring that he is a good boy, she is a cool girl. And declarative sentences always ends with full stop. Interrogative sentences means when you want to get some information, what you will do? You will ask some questions to other persons. For example, what is your name? Are you a student? So these kind of questioning sentences are known as interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences always ends with question mark. Exclamatory sentences. It shows strong feeling. For example, wow, the flower is so beautiful. There is a fire upstairs. These kind of sentences shows the strong feeling and it always ends with exclamatory mark. Next one, imperative sentences. Imperative sentences means it gives a command. Command means imagine that you are a team leader. As a team leader, you have to give many instructions to the co-workers. So those kind of instruction can be a command. For example, finish this work. Clean the table. So these kind of sentences are known as imperative sentences and these kind of sentences will end up with period, or an exclamatory mark. Here you can see some examples. First sentence, pass the ketchup to Samuel. Here, somebody is giving the command to other person. So that is imperative. Second sentence, there is a fire upstairs. ಮೇಲಿನ ಫ್ಲೋರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So this is not a usual thing, right? The person is saying the sentence with fear. This is an exclamatory sentence. Third sentence, what is Roxy doing tomorrow night? They are asking question, right? So the questioning sentence is interrogative sentence. Fourth one, clean the dishes before you play outside. What kind of sentence it is? Here also somebody is giving command to other person. This is also an imperative sentence. Fifth one, he is very handsome. Here declaring that the person is handsome. So this is declarative sentence. Sixth one, watch out. When something unusual happening in front of you, you say to other people, watch out. So there is a strong feeling with little fear. So this is exclamatory sentence. Seventh, she is wearing a striped shirt. Here there is no strong feeling. Nobody is giving command to any person. Nobody is asking any question. So this sentence is declarative sentence. I hope you understood well about 4 different types of sentences. Here is an activity. The direction for the activity is read each sentence and add the correct punctuation mark. Then label it. Imperative, declarative, interrogative or exclamatory. Here I have given 12 different sentences. You have to read those and put the correct punctuation mark. And children, the first impression is the best impression forever. So, how would you create a best impression? While introducing yourself to other people, you can make a best impression. Do you know how to introduce yourself to other people? Here I have given self-introduction format. Go through it, fill the blanks, and learn those sentences. Here in the first sentence, good morning, madam. If the person is male, you can change it to good morning, sir. And you can also make changes in good morning. If the communication is happening in afternoon time, then you can say good afternoon. So fill this format and learn to introduce yourself. Children, do you know what is a paragraph? Paragraph is a series of sentences that are organized, coherent and are all related to a single topic. When we join series of sentences regarding to the same topic, then it will become a paragraph. Children, do you know how to write an essay regarding a topic? There is a method called burger chart. Directions: write your topic at the top, follow it with 3 supporting details and a concluding sentence. It may be any topic, but follow the burger chart method to make it more meaningful. The first thing you have to do is giving introduction about the topic. Then you can elaborate the topic in the body part. In the end, you can give the conclusion of the topic. It goes like topic sentence, supporting sentence 1, supporting sentence 2, supporting sentence 3. And in the end, it should be conclusion sentence. So this was all about communication skills. Thank you.